I'm ready. Yes, Hickok 45, your chilly internet shooting companion, coming to you from the barren hills, again, of Tennessee, the home of Alvin York, Dolly Parton, Johnny Cash, all these people. We claim Johnny Cash, yeah, even though I think he's from Arkansas originally. We claim him, you know. So we claim all the country music celebrities, stars, singers. If they sang in Nashville, how's that? I might just make that a practice. Claim anybody who ever recorded in Nashville, even Elvis. You know, people remind me that Elvis is from Tennessee quite often. Why don't I mention Elvis? I used to sometimes. He's actually from Mississippi originally, but we ought to be able to claim him as well. You know, came up here when he was young, started recording. I think he made a few hit songs, you know, and lived right there in Memphis for a good while. And I've been through the, what's it called? Not Graceland? Yeah, Graceland, yeah. And Graceland Mansion, or whatever they call it. And it's pretty interesting tour. I was late getting to it. I was late to the game. Lived in Tennessee for decades and decades. And never to get down there. When was that? About 5 years ago, my wife and I took the tour and spent a lot of time there, so it was pretty interesting. So how'd I get off on all that? Glad you're here. It is cold. It's really colder than I normally get out and do these kinds of things. I'll have to say, but the sun came out, and it's not a good day this week for it. So I'm not gonna have a good day. I could have just wimped out, you know, but I'm gonna do it, and maybe not as long. We'll see. But yeah, it's just barely above freezing, and I'm barely above freezing. So you know what I've got? Yeah, man. Marlin JM Model 45 Colt. This is the first one I had that I purchased, right? At least in pistol caliber. When did I get my guide gun? That was 99. Well, I mean, I had a Marlin before this, I guess. I had a Model 95. Yeah, when I probably a few years before I got this, but I got this in 90, was it 7 or 8? When I started cowboy action shooting. And put the Skinner sights on it. And after I went to a different rifle. I went to an 1873 Uberti, which I have, you've seen. Hit 45 Colt for my action, cowboy action shooting rifle. And then I think that's when I put the Skinner sights on it, because you really couldn't use those in cowboy action shooting at the time. You might now, I don't know. So yeah, that's a nice rifle. I might just shoot again while I got my long range glasses on. I'll tell you about that. Can I shoot again? Let's do that. Let's see, is there anything I need to remind you of right away? Oh, I don't know, everything. Just don't forget, John's putting a lot of stuff together. You're going to see more of the, like I say, the essential videos of whatever video we post early in the week. He's doing an essentials kind of version of it. And it'll have a different title and be edited, again, for shorter attention spans and all that kind of thing. Not that it's a short. And also watch out for the Throwback Thursday videos, okay? Where I pick out a video and share it with you and introduce it and everything. So yeah, keep you guys busy, keep you out of trouble. Yeah, more to see. So anyway, let me shoot this thing. Let me empty it, okay? There's that empty case. under the bolt. Let's hit old Clyde again. Yeah. He really was neglected for so long, all through the fall. He must have probably figured I was never coming back. I'm surprised he didn't bring a bunch of his friends in here, to hang out with in my recording. Let's try a 2-liter. This is some Underwood I'm firing. Oh man, I got my earmuffs on today, you notice. It's cold. Man, this thing's hard to mess with. It really is. Sure as I say that, I'll miss. I think I had about 12 or 13 in that thing. That is a nice rifle. It's one of my very favorites, no doubt about it. And I got new glasses, been messing around with that, and boy, I can see a lot better with my new glasses. But there might be an issue with the prescription, I'm not sure. And I cannot see my rifle sights as well with them though. And so I put my old ones on that I don't see as much very well at a distance, but I can see my rifle sights, shotgun sights better with it. So I'm going to take them off and go back to my new glasses, because I really spoiled being able to see so well most things. And and I'm getting another pair. I'll update you a little bit more on my saga involving the glasses and my prescription and all that kind of thing later, when I figure out what's going on exactly with it. But yeah, I'm back, and it's cold, but I don't care. Yeah, speaking of 45 Colt, that was some Underwood I meant to bring over here. I just got another order in of buffalo bore, some of their heavier stuff, hard cast, and was going to try that, especially in the rifle, maybe in the handgun as well. I brought a 45 Colt handgun, not a Colt single action for a change. My old model. Let me take my glasses off. What dash this thing? Yeah, 25.5. Okay, I knew that. So I'm not seeing as well up close with these great glasses, so I got to kind of get a balance there. All right. That was the beauty of my other prescription that I trashed in my motorcycle accident. They weren't up to date, and I couldn't see as clearly far out there and everything, but I could see far and near. I could read anything from it. I didn't need bifocals or reading glasses or anything like that. I really like that. I would like to get back to that point if I can. So anyway, but yeah, I was going to bring some buffalo bore. I also got some of their hard cast 45 ACP, 255 grain hard cast bullet, and plus P. And next time I get a 1911 out, I want to see if they'll function reliably in one of my 1911s, because they're pretty heavy, and that always taxes a spring, magazine spring. Well, maybe the recoil spring. You got to have the right springs in your gun, but they're supposed to work in just standard 5-inch guns, okay? But magazine, the problems I've had with heavier, even 230 grain bullets, because I've always liked at least 230 grain weight. Well, 45 ACP, it's typically the heavier bullet what you get, unless you're kind of in a specialized round like the buffalo bore. But when springs start to weaken in the magazines with 1911s, it will show up first with the 230 grain bullets. If you're shooting nothing but 200 grainers, you may not notice it for a while. And I'll let you figure out the physics of that, pushing up more weight, okay? So, but anyway, I don't know if you guys, I've ordered a lot of ammo from them, and haven't shot all of it, but or even tried some of it. I carry their 38s in my pocket gun, and things like that. But if you're into hunting at all, and or even if you're not, because I don't hunt, and I just really enjoy watching Tom Sundell's, his name Sundell's, yeah, talk about guns and hunting, because he's not just a hunter, although he hunts all over the world, but he's also into firearms, just like a lot of us are. You know, old lineup of 44 Magnums and 44 Specials, Marlin lever guns. He's got all the same guns I've got and more, some different ones and all that, in addition to big game rifles and those sorts of things. So he knows what he's talking about, no doubt about it. So, what else do I want to shoot? Yeah, I got the earmuffs on in this cold weather. It's nice. It kind of doubles as keeping your ears warm, serves that purpose, and it also muffles sound. I don't know if anybody's figured that out yet, but earmuffs, do that pretty well. And these are electronic, so I can hear y'all talking while I'm shooting. Okay, so it works out pretty well. Yeah, man. Yeah, watch out for the Throwback Thursday videos and other things. It's coming at you. Like I said, YouTube is a different ball game. Doesn't matter who you are, how many viewers you have, all that kind of thing. People, I run into people all the time. It's just like me. I haven't seen your videos being recommended. Well, yeah, no kidding. It's a gun video, and all the people that I follow, the Firearms people, really none of them show up. None of them show up. It's only somebody I've watched, seems like, in the last day or two, and then it might show up. But boy, if you skip a video or miss a video or two, then it's like they disappear, and they're busy feeding you cat videos or pickup truck videos or some other random thing, or possibly somebody paid to get promoted. I don't know. But anyway, hope you're checking them out. And what should I shoot? Let me shoot this thing. All right, I haven't fired this 25.5, that's 45 Colt, in quite a while. It's Old Smith. Yeah, I noticed it in the safe there, feeling kind of lonely, looking kind of lonely, so I thought I'd shoot it. Oh man. Speaking of FUDs like me, I saw a video, and speaking of videos, a video popped up, was dealing with myths, kind of a stab. I don't know, what was it called, boomer myths or something like that. Things that FUD lore, all that kind of stuff that people blame me for that sort of stuff. But us old guys, gals, all the FUD lore, and there's a lot of it out there. I've done videos on some of those things, the things that are supposed to be no-nos, but they're really not. Things you're supposed to always do regarding firearms, but maybe that's not necessary. It's like any area of interest, any endeavor. If it's cars, four-wheelers, if it's coin collecting, painting, you name it, there are going to be all these truisms that are really not true, right? But they get handed down and talked about within the hobby, the members of that hobby, in gun shops if it's guns, at gun shows, and on the internet especially. All that kind of thing can be continued forever. And so this video, I don't remember who it was, didn't know who it was, didn't know them, but there were a lot of the things. Yep, that's right. And I didn't get through the entire video, but they got into this business of racking your shotgun. Yeah, don't rack your shotgun. This is FUD lore. Don't rack your shotgun, your pump shotgun. Wait till the intruder gets in there, then rack it and you'll scare him away. Okay, well, yeah, that's kind of FUD lore. But he also said something to the effect that anybody doesn't keep a round in the chamber, they don't know what they're doing, that sort of thing. I forgot how I phrased it. But, be careful of that. We have a video I did a talks video, I guess, on somewhere, talked about having a round chambered or not, because that's a common question. Should I keep a round chambered? Or Hickok, do you have a round chambered in your carry gun or whatever gun? And I talked about that, talk about it again maybe. But you really need to know your own skill level, your own limitations, what they are. We all have them, except for me, of course. No, we all have limitations and different considerations based on where we live, family, who's in the house, or where you're carrying the gun. But back to the shotgun, I don't keep a round chambered. In a shotgun that might be staged, maybe even in a handgun, depending on what it is and where it is. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't want to be too safe, but you need to think about who's in and out of your house before you keep a shotgun in a corner with a round in the chamber. You just need to be really aware of that, don't you? And I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But, for example, do you, say you have kids, or maybe you don't have kids, and for some reason, I don't know, some friends of your wife, or maybe you live alone, you're a hermit, this is never an issue. No one's ever in your house, period, or something, but that's rare, really rare. You might have a spouse, and they have you don't ever have kids in the house, so you think, I don't have to worry about that. Well, maybe a friend of your wife, your spouse, comes over and they've got a couple of kids with them, and they're just kind of meandering around. Your spouse, husband or wife or friend, whoever, is a little preoccupied, and the visitor's kids are kind of off in the other room playing. You think they're in there watching TV or something, or playing a video game, but they're not. One of them's gone back to the bathroom, and they wandered around in the bedroom, and lo and behold, behind the door there's this cool shotgun, just like I see in the video games. I'm just kind of presenting, worst case scenario, things that can happen, but you can imagine all the various times that could happen. Or ways it could happen. Maybe unlikely, but it could. But anyway, I don't think you're stupid for not keeping a round in the chamber. That's the bottom line. If you have a shotgun around the house, a pump shotgun, this is kind of what the topic was. In fact, I would think long and hard before I would have a round chambered, and then of course even where that shotgun is and the whole 9 yards. But anyway, there is a lot of FUD lore, but you also have to be smart about it. You don't want a tragedy to happen. All these things we just think won't happen, like I never thought I'd be in a motorcycle accident, this fall or this summer. I don't even own a motorcycle anymore. I don't even ride motorcycles anymore. But the perfect storm kind of comes up. A friend has one, and you're just going to try it around the parking lot across the road a little bit, and things can happen. So anyway, that's my take on that. I would suggest we all err on the side of caution. Just be smart. Be smart about it. That's all I got to say. And who am I to advise other people to be smart? I don't even know how to be smart. Do I have any ammo? I see a lot of empty. Yeah, okay, I brought a box. This is some Steinel. And there's some live rounds in there. 45 Colt. I tend to put my brass back in the box, empty, and I'll pick up a box if I'm going to go out and shoot a little bit, or like on a Sunday or whenever. Yep, there's ammo in that box. I'm not sure if it's full, but there's ammo. I can feel some lead in there, and could end up with mostly empties, couldn't I? So, hope y'all have had a good week, and you're not freezing today. Yeah. I can stand a little cold, get dressed up here pretty well, especially if the sun's out. It's not too bad. There's a vast difference. Here you go, Hickok 45 weather report. Vast difference between, like, I don't know, 38 degrees or 41 degrees when the sun's shining versus same temperature when it's cloudy and a little windy. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Now, if you live up in, I don't know, upper Michigan or Canada, you're thinking this must be a heat wave. There's no snow on the ground. It's not sleeting or anything. All right, 45 Colt. Yeah, man. This is, again, the old Smith & Wesson. Looks a lot like a Dirty Harry gun, doesn't it? Pretty much, because it is, except in 45 Colt. Instead, a 44 Magnum. Yeah, man. 45 Colt is so much fun to shoot. Don't you think so, Clyde? I think I heard it hit him, but it didn't make much noise. He might be dragging the ground over there. It might be my earmuffs. Things sound different when you have an earmuff on. Yeah. That's another sweet revolver I don't shoot enough. Why is that? Why do I neglect some of my firearms? I know the answer. Do you know it? Why do I neglect some of my firearms? You do a video on that, except it'd be a short video, because the answer is pretty simple. It's one sentence, one phrase. I have too many firearms. That's why I neglect some of them. They're just going to be neglected because I have so many, right? A good problem to have. All right, let's shoot that hog. Yeah, how about that 2-liter bowling pin? Gong? Have I ever shot the gong with this thing? I have now, if I haven't before. Have I ever shot the tree with it? Let's try that top limb. All right, I think I'm empty, but let's make sure. No, I'm not. Knocked him back. All right. That's good training when you think you're empty. Just go ahead and bear down. I admit I don't do it always. I think, hey, I think I'm empty, so I don't take a good sight picture or pull the trigger on something. But it's a good way to enhance your training, practice your trigger to avoid flinching, that kind of thing. Even though you think it's empty, so you're not as expecting. Maybe you're just almost sure it's empty, so you're not expecting any recoil or boom, and you know you get a good read maybe on your trigger pull. So, I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you something important. I don't know anything important. I do know I'm happy that we have so many people that support us there, like Davidson's Gallery of Guns, where you get a guaranteed lifetime replacement in your firearms. Check out be sure you sign up for the great gun giveaway when you're over there. And then the people that make those fine Banish suppressors, Silencer Central. You saw one this week in a couple of different videos, right? Unless you missed videos. And if you missed any, you'll be invoiced. You'll be penalized. There's a fine for that. So 300 blackout, ring a bell. Yeah, BCM pistol this week, suppressed. And then, of course, the SONORAN Desert Institute. Get yourself some distance learning in a variety of areas. Drones, firearms, you name it. And then Alabama holster, my favorite holster, Kydex concealment holsters. Got a bunch of them, and I use them every day. I really appreciate them. I like simple, maybe because I'm simple. I like simple things that work. You know, like a tool that just works. Like a wrench, you know, whatever it is. That's kind of the way the little Kydex holsters are. They're thin and they don't take up any extra room, like in your pocket or wherever you got them. If you got them on a belt, I really appreciate a thin holster on a belt, particularly inside the waistband, where you don't, you know, or like, yeah, inside the waistband, wherever it is inside the waistband, or in a pocket. It's just like nothing extra. There are some pretty good holsters I've seen through the years. Leather, maybe like big old nylon types of holsters. What is that popular pocket holster? I mean, you can pick them up for nothing in a lot of stores. Not an Uncle Mike, but it's something like that. It's a kind of a nylon, but you know, each side of it seems about that thick, you know, and I guess it does fine, but you're adding, you know, a lot of thickness wherever it is, and that's why I like thin and simple. But appreciate Alabama holster and Ballistol and Talon grips. Appreciate Smith & Wesson making this firearm. I hope right now they're working on my 617 mountain gun, because you know I sent it back last week, and I hope they're right now, somebody has it on the workbench and they're experimenting with it and they're doing measuring. A real master gunsmith right now is looking at it, and he's got all the tools, micrometer, everything out, and he's, oh yes, I see the problem. And he's busy fixing it and testing it, and it's firing double action every time now. That's what I hope. That's my dream. That's my dream. I don't know, I've been hearing a lot of problems with well, Tom Sundles, you know, and other Tom, I'm sorry, Tim. Did I say Tom? His name is Tim. I'm sorry. But talked about, you know, he's got Smith & Wessons and Colts, and some of them are just fabulous guns, new ones, you know, just fabulous and accurate, reliable, no problem. But then others that have issues, you know, and that's kind of been my experience. Most of them are fine. I bought a lot of Smith & Wessons and Colts through the years, Rugers and others, and I don't have problems with them very often, but sometimes you do, don't you? 2 different mountain guns I've had issues with, right, recently. All right, I'm not in the mountains, so I can shoot this today. What about it, big bore? You don't have enough lead on you, piggy. Yeah. You either, cowboy. Have you been hit yet? Clyde could probably use another one. Yeah. Or 2. Good old 45 Colt. I love it. You all know that, don't you? I hate to admit how many firearms I have in 45 Colt. Maybe one day I will admit it. I don't know. Or I counted them up one day, how many I have that are actually 45s of some sort. 45-70, 45 Colt, 45 ACP. What else? Colt ACP, 45-70. Am I leaving anything out of my collection? I guess that's about it in terms of 45. I used to have I used to load 45 auto rim, but now it's 45 ACP, more or less. So anyway, before I freeze out, maybe I should give some young people advice, okay? My advice is, and quite often, I know I'm a broken record in a lot of ways, but I always come back to the media thing. It seems like, and I guess my advice for young people is try not to let the negativity online wear you down. Don't let the algorithm wear you down, because that's what a lot of it is. Whatever you watch, right, you get fed more of that. Whether it's me or anybody, when we watch something, we get fed more of it, generally, and sometimes a lot of it. And have you ever done that? Have you ever, I don't know, a video popped up and someone sent you a link to something or whatever, popped up for some reason, and it's not even something you're that interested in, but you say, well, what's this about? And you watch enough of it that you get more of it, right? And it keeps coming. And maybe quite a lot of it. It's a those algorithms and the way YouTube works, and also I guess Instagram, it feeds you what you want, man, or what it thinks you want, and who knows, with artificial intelligence, maybe it's going to be feeding us what it thinks we need, yeah, based on who programmed it, right? But anyway, there are these, I've talked about this before, I think, these kind of doom and gloom videos that, because I watch and follow several people that deal with financial things and economic issues, and so occasionally some, end of the world stuff comes up, of course, and because some people think, we're at the end of the world, financially and whatever. Maybe we are, maybe we're not, but there's a is that an oxymoron? A gigantic cottage industry? Is that an oxymoron? But there's a cottage industry of doom and gloom videos of how horrible things are, okay? And in some ways they are, and for some people it's worse than others, right? You know, that bifurcation, as they call it, of the economy and everything. But there are just a world of people. If you get to watching one of these things, or a couple of them, they just keep rolling in of people talking about how horrible it is out here. The economy, and people can't afford a house and a car, and you can't buy a car, and you can't buy anything, and food you can't buy. And there's some truth in all of it. I'm not saying there's not some truth in it, but I mean to tell you, if you watch some of those videos, you're ready to jump off a bridge, and they just keep rolling. They keep rolling in. And the thing is, there's some people that are making a lot of money doing that, talking about how bad the economy is and how they don't have any money. You know, it's ironic in a lot of ways. And again, there's a lot of truth in it, you know, especially for a lot of people. You're just starting out in the world, and you know, it's tough. It's hard to buy a house, right? And food is expensive, and just everything. But just my point is, try not to get sucked into those algorithms. And I mean, you could really get more and more depressed, I would think, over time, and focus on just improving your life, if at all possible. I mean, it's tough. And the thing is, it's just kind of human nature that we don't think we have enough time to do what we want to do. We don't have enough time to take the vacations we want. We don't have enough closet space. Who has enough closet space in your house or apartment? Anybody? No, we never do. We never have the amount of money we want, no matter how much we make. I've had a wide range of incomes in my life. Wide range, probably wider than most of you. And no matter where I was or am on that scale, there's always something, just a little more, I could do that, or this or that, you know. And so we never have enough money, we never have enough time, we never have enough of, you name it, fill in the blank, okay? So if I'm watching videos that are kind of convincing and made by people that are fairly charismatic about how terrible it is that I don't have any one of those things, money, time, closet space, whatever it is I'm talking about, I can really go down that rabbit hole and get to feeling worse and worse and worse about my predicament, you know, when maybe it is less than desirable, but it might not be as bad as it's made out to be. So anyway, just be aware of that. There's just a lot of ways that the world is making money to make you or me feel worse than we deserve to feel. Yeah, okay, that's my advice. And it's worth exactly, you know how much it's worth? It's worth exactly what you paid for. Well, you did pay. You paid with time, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Let's shoot some of this underwood in this thing. I don't think it's too hot for it. Well, I shouldn't have said. I started to say it didn't feel all that extra hot in the rifle. But then again, it wouldn't, would it? All right. 45 Colt. Let's see how it feels in this thing. That feels all right. Feels all right. What do you think, Clyde? How does it feel? Well, you felt it breeze right by you, didn't you? Yeah, I felt that one. See what the cowboy thinks. And maybe what the gong thinks. Might be too cold to hit the gong. Might not be able to hold steady enough. Yeah, just bring it up a little bit. Oh. I'm gonna count my shots. I'll get killed for lack of shooting back, won't I? I gotta try that gong again. I think I was holding too low, but then again, I might have been holding too high. These might print a little higher than the others. No, that's something to remember. I could talk about that sometime, maybe today, I don't know. Let's try the gong. Yeah, I was holding a little bit too low. Okay. as I held right on top of it. As most of you know, if you shoot much, you want to get a load you like. Now, I mess with a lot of different ammo. You know, people that donate ammo. We don't have one ammo sponsor. We got away from that. And so we get some ammo donated to us from Underwood, Steinel, sometimes Fiocchi, but you know, I buy a lot of ammo. But so I'm shooting a lot of different types of ammo. And there's not a gigantic difference you know, in most handguns and most things, depending on what you're shooting at. If you're shooting at really small targets and you're involved in really precision shooting, it's more of an issue, of course, having consistent ammo. When I was doing international handgun metallic silhouettes, you know, IHMSA competitions back in the 70s, I wasn't, you know, great at it or anything, but I did it. I never changed ammo because you're shooting at distance, you know, trying to hit turkeys and stuff way out there. And really critical sight picture is so important, and I figured out over time how much to screw up the rear sight on my Model 29 at the various distances and still maintain kind of the same sight picture at each distance from 50 meters to 200. And I didn't always hit, but at least I knew kind of where to hold, you know, and man, I didn't dare change ammo around. I had a hand load I used, and with about a 200 and, well, 40 grain, 44, some of them are 250, I think, but I stuck with the same load and everything because it's hard enough. You don't want to have all these different variables. So if you want to learn to shoot, you're going to find a load that works, it's accurate in your firearm, whatever it is. And this gets even more critical with rifles and long range shooting, I guess, and that kind of thing, but with precision shooting. You don't want to be switching around with a bunch of different ammos and a bunch of different bullet weights and all that kind of thing. You know, now I do that. You see me do it. I'll, you know, shoot some different ammo, some hand loads, and 3 or 4 different brands, and figure out where to hold and not. I'm just messing around. But if my life depended on hitting Clyde because he's about to attack, or hitting a plate out there on the other hill, or someone was going to pay me $1 million if I could hit those plates and not miss out of 10 shots or whatever it might be. Well, when it becomes more and more important, then you know, you really don't want to be messing around with different ammo, different weights, different power factors, or any of that. You know, and I recommend that anyway in general for most people that aren't doing what I'm doing, they're playing with a lot of different ammos and different things. But you want to learn to shoot, get a round that you like, the recoil's about right for whatever kinds of shooting you're going to do, whether it's 9mm, 45, you name it. Get a bullet you like that you can find. You know you can get that ammo. It's maybe reasonably priced, if that even exists anymore. And that's just going to be what you shoot most of the time. And then know where it hits and get your sights adjusted, you know, for that, whether it's a handgun or a rifle, you know, or anything. And if you're a hunter, of course, that's important, right? You know, so you know where it's going to hit. There's just so many variables with shooting, you know, the human, the big variable. And then, of course, when you're in the woods, if you're hunting, and visibility, if you're shooting downhill or on flat land or uphill, you know, bullets tend to print higher if you're shooting downhill or uphill, all these different kinds of things. You got enough of that to think about. Not, well, what load is this? You know, oh, okay, I'm shooting this brand today and the bullet's 10 grains heavier, so it probably is going to go. Yeah, you don't want to have to deal with that, generally speaking. Okay, that's okay for me to deal with it because there's nothing at risk here. It's not a matter of whether I bring in the deer to eat or not, that kind of thing. Can I shoot this another time or two? Will you care? I'm gonna do it, okay? Whew, cold. But I'm out here, so I'm gonna shoot a few more if that's all right. Make sure I have to make sure I'm being smart. I have these lever guns, you know, this gun in 44 Magnum, 45 Colt, 357, and the area where you can make, where it's easiest to make a mistake is, you got a lot of different guns, you're shooting them on, is to put like 44 Magnum in a 45 Colt, you know, lever gun or something. You could load it, well, you could do it in a handgun as well, because if you look at a 45 Colt, 44 Magnum, they don't strike you as all that different just right away at first glance. So you want to read your boxes. I mean, I've done it a couple times, and it's never been anything so critical as going to blow up the gun or be dangerous, but you don't want to do it, okay? All right, 45 Colt. Now I'm not going to change glasses, I'll just do the best I can here. See if I can hit something like Clyde. The only problem is the front sight is kind of blurry on me, or doubles on me a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, these are sweet. Marlin lever gun, JM model. So I guess I'll let you go. I've probably frozen enough, and we're getting into December, and wow, December the 7th. What do you won't be long for? Santa Claus will be coming around, right? Hope you've all been good boys and girls, and maybe there's some ammo on your Christmas list. Go to the local mall, see if Santa is there, stand in line, sit on his lap, tell him you want 10,000 rounds of ammo for Christmas. Maybe he'll bring it in that sleigh. Never know. Might come right down your chimney. So tell him you also want a 44 Colt, 45 Colt, 44 Magnum, you know, for Christmas. I should do that. That's what I should do. I get my grandson, prep him, take him to a mall, and go sit on Santa's lap. And I don't guess he's too old yet, but, and say, Santa, I would like a, for Christmas, what do you want for Christmas, little boy? Santa, I would like a first generation Colt single action Army and 45 Colt. See what Santa's reaction is. All right, I'll straighten up. The cold weather has me a little giddy. I think it's affecting my brain. Something is. Except I think it's the same thing that's been affecting it since I was born, right? So I'm going to let you go, and maybe next week it won't be quite as cold. Maybe there will be a heat wave. See, it'll be about the 14th, December. So maybe it'll be a nice balmy 75 degrees. Yeah, if it is, I'll do about a 2-hour Sunday shoot around, okay? So see you next week. Don't forget to stay tuned and check out the videos, because you're not going to get them suggested probably. Yeah, you're going to miss a lot of brilliant stuff if you're not coming back to the channel. So we'll see you later. Really appreciate your support. Life is good.